The Jeff Chandler mystery finally solved, and it's not good. Jeff Chandler was born Ira Grossel on December 15, 1918 in Brooklyn, New York, was a very handsome and super talented American actor and singer whose career left a big mark on mid-century Hollywood with his early gray hair, tall height, and deep singing voice. Chandler became a popular movie star in 1950 Seconds. People loved both how he looked and his quiet, strong acting on screen. His life, though sadly cut short, is still a touching story from the golden age of movies. Raised in a working-class Jewish family, Chandler fell in love with acting from when he was young, even though his family faced money problems during the Great Depression. After finishing high school at Erasmus High School in Brooklyn, he studied acting at the Fijian School of Acting in New York City. He worked hard and never gave up, working in small theaters and radio shows, learning his skills and building what would become a great career. During World War II, Chandler served in the US Army, where he was sent to the Aleutian Islands. His time in the Army made him even more disciplined and committed, which would later help him with his acting. When he came back home, went back to radio work, getting known for his special voice. At this strong voice led to movie roles, starting with small parts and slowly growing into big studio movies. Jeff Chandler's big break came in 1948 when he played a tough gangster in the movie Johnny O'Clock, but it was his powerful acting as Coach Eyes the Apache Chief in Broken Arrow 1950 that made him a star. For this role, he got nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. This was a big deal, especially considering how people thought about race back then. His respectful and human way of playing guys was a turning point in Hollywood's way of showing Native American characters and showed Chandler's talent and care as an actor. After Broken Arrow was successful, Chandler became a wanted leading man, starring in many different movies of all types. He appeared in adventure movies like Smuggler's Island 1951, war movies like Merrill's Mercedes 1958, and westerns like Heath Jayhawker's 1959. He also starred with big actresses of that time, including Jan Russell, Rhonda Fleming, and Maureen O'Hara. Chandler was known for playing characters who were strong and sensitive men who were tough but had feelings too. Besides his acting, Jeff Chandler was also a great singer. He made several albums during the 1950 Seconds with love songs and romantic music that showed off his smooth, deep voice. His music career wasn't as famous as his movie work, but it showed his many-sided artistic personality. His songs, including ones like I Should Care and All I Do Is Dream of You, showed a softer side that was different from the tough characters Hefton played in movies. Chandler also got interested in making movies and telling stories behind the camera. He started his own movie company and wanted more control over his projects, which showed his wish to do more than just be famous and be bigger part in making movie stories. This business-minded attitude was rare among actors back then and showed Chandler's big dreams and forward-thinking ideas. Jeff Chandler eyed actress Marjorie Hochel in 1946 during the early years of his movie career. Hochel, who had worked in Hollywood and on stage, had her own small career in acting before stepping back from the spotlight. The couple at first seemed to be a happy and glamorous Hollywood pair. People loved their good looks and public appearances. Their marriage had two daughters, Jamie Tucker, born in 1947, and Dana Grossel, born in 1949. Chandler's birth name was Ira Grossel, which Dana later used in her last name. The family moved into life in Los Angeles, and for a while Chandler seemed turbulent, being famous with being a father, but behind closed doors the marriage had problems. The couple split up in 1951, and even though they get back together, the same problems continued. They split up again in 1954, and that same year Marjorie asked for divorce, saying the marriage was broken. One of her main complaints was that Chandler was always tired stomach, so that he would fall asleep in public or during parties. No matter where they were, she described a man so worn out by being tired that he was often not really there, even when was physically there. The hard work of his acting career, including long hours in movie sets and studio work, were clearly hurting his health and family life. Even with their problem, Chandler and Hochel tried once more to fix the marriage and got back together in March 1955. During this time, Chandler kept working steady and stayed one of Universal's biggest money-making stars, but the reunion didn't last long. In 1957, while making the movie Raw Wind in Italy, Chandler started a well-known affair with actress and swimmer Esther Williams, a glamorous star herself. Their relationship quickly got media attention, and it became clear to his wife that the marriage was finally over. Hochel asked for divorce again at the end of that year, ending 10 years of marriage that Haid repeated tries to work things out but was finally beaten by Chandler. Scarer demands and personal co-assess during the 1958 divorce court case. New details about Chandler's money and LaFestal came out. He said that he was making good money as a movie actor with a contract with Universal Studios to make 2 movies per year. He get paid $60,000 per movie in 1957 and $75,000 per movie in 1958, which was a lot of money back then. In total, Chandler said he made $250,000 in 1957, which also included money from singing shows and maybe other deals or public appearance, but he also said that his money was greatly reduced by different work expenses. His personal manager, business manager, and agent together took about 25% of his money, and he had other costs related to his lifestyle, family needs, and career upkeep. Even with these costs, the court told Chandler to keep paying his wife $1,500 per month as temporary help. Final divorce deal in June 1959 cost a lot of money. Chandler agreed to pay over $2,166 per month in alimony plus $500 monthly in child support, making sure his ex-wife and daughters had money. He also paid a on-time payment of $100,000, which showed both how long their marriage lasted and Chandler's continued success. When thinking about the end of their marriage, Hochul said that Chandler had become more and more focused on his career to the point where even his time off set was filled with business work. He spent all the time when it actually working on a movie in his business office, she said, meaning Thave was emotionally and physically not there for his family. She added Thave's stress of the failing marriage made her get an ulcer, which was a physical sign of years off marriage problems. Chandler's love life after the divorce kept getting public attention. He was connected with several women in the entertainment business, including actress and singer Gloria D. Haven. Their relationship, which had been kept somewhat private, was revealed in Confidential magazine, a famous gossip magazine of that time that focused on Hollywood scandal. During Pagan, Chandler made a place for himself among Hollywood's most well-known stars, but behind the public image was a troubling and mysterious series of events that clouded his early death and left fans confused for many years. Now, after years of guessing and whispers behind closed doors, new evidence and stories have finally brought the long-burning mystery to light, and what has come out is far from the noble image his fans once loved. Chandler died suddenly in 1961 at just 42 years old following what should have been a simple operation for a hurt back disc. At the time, official reports said his death was from problems from surgery, listing a blood infection and medical mistakes, but details around his hospital stay raised red flags. Even then, friends, co-workers, and even his ex-wife began to ask how a seemingly healthy man could get so sick so fast in the care of a good medical hospital. Rumors of messed up procedures, overlooked allergies, and staff carelessness began to spread almost right away after his death. At the center of the controversy was Cedars of Lebanon Hospital in Los Angeles, where Chandler had gone for surgery and never walked out again. The mystery got deeper with conflicting reports. Some said that Chandler had been wrongly diagnosed, while others suggested his allergic reactions to sleep medicine and antibiotics were badly handled. In a shocking twist, a nurse at the time reportedly told Chandler's friend Sammy Davis Jr. that there had been panic in the operating room after Chandler began having seizures and allergic symptoms. It is now understood through newly opened court documents and hospital records that Chandler was given a medicine he had documented allergies to, specifically a penicillin-based drug. This deadly mistake, combined with not an UG after surgery watching, led to his fast decline. Rather than admitting fault, hospital reportedly worked to cover up their mistakes, fearing legal problems and public anger. To make matters worse, a curtain of silence drowned the case. In the years that followed, movie business insiders suspected a planned effort by the studio system to hide damaging information. At the time, Universal Pictures had much invested in Chandler's reputation. He was one of their most money-making stars and one of the few leading men who could believably play heroic roles. Archetypes, westerns, war movies, and historical epics. Bad press about medical incompetence and system failure would not only hurt Chandler's legacy but could have far-reaching effects for the believability of Hollywood's golden age image. Adding another layer of tragedy, Chandler's personal life was filled with tension and guessing. Whispers about his private relationships, strained marriages, and rumored affairs only made his public story more complicated. His ex-wife Marjorie Hochel publicly hinted in later interviews that there was more to Chandler's death than the public had been told, suggesting that emotional stress and tiredness may have made him more vulnerable physically. Friends noted that Chandler had been working long hours on movie sets and making personal appearances even while struggling with constant pain. The stress combined with a failure to get right medical care created the perfect storm. In recent years, the arrival of digital files along with renewed biographical interest in Chandler's life has led researchers and movie historians to connect dots that unseemed unrelated. Investigative journalists found medical records previously thought destroyed along with letters from Chandler's close friends expressing anger and sadness over what they call a completely avoidable tragedy. These discoveries paint a picture not of a tragic accident but of system carelessness and possibly even a quiet cover-up designed to protect reputations and minimize legal responsibility. The final pieces of the puzzle were made public through the efforts of Chandler's daughter, Jamie Tucker, who spent years quietly asking for access to her father's sealed medical records. In a heartfelt interview, she described the pain of not knowing the full story behind her father's death. "He wasn't just a star, he was my dad," she said, "and he didn't deserve to die like that." Her persistence paid off when a court order forced the hospital to release the paperwork confirming that important medical rules were ignored and that Chandler's allergic reactions were known before the surgery. Now, with the mystery solved, the truth casts a sad shadow over the glamorous front of classic Hollywood. The story of Jeff Chandler's death is no longer just a sad story about a beloved actor dying too young. It is a serious reminder of how even the brightest stars can be put out by carelessness, silence, and system failure. As fans watch his movies again, many do so with a deeper appreciation of the man behind the roles and with lasting questions about how many similar tragedies have been quietly buried in records of Hollywood history.